G'day guys, welcome back and welcome to the new project. So here it is. I said after the cars I wanted to get back into the bikes, and I've always wanted one of these. It is a 2006 DRZ400. This thing, I found it online not too far from me, about 45 minutes drive out in the sticks. It was ridden and parked under a house over a year ago and it was left there. Old mates just pulled it out and decided to sell it, so I found it and snapped it up real quick, got it for a pretty good price. So as you can see, it's fairly crusty. It's been sitting for a while. So I've been over it, you can see the tank's discoloured, so we'll try and polish that up nice. The plan with this bike is to just bring it back to factory condition, like get it really good condition. So it's going to get a full strip down. I'm going to paint the frame, paint the engine, do all that, replace whatever needs replacing on it, because they are a really nice bike. So I'll go through and show you what a few of the problems are. The lid's missing off the battery box. I've already ordered one of those. Oh, this thing here, I noticed this here. This piece of steel, I'm thinking that's not meant to be in there. You can see it sort of speared itself through that plastic. So that, I think, is part of the chain guard. To hold that chain guard's been cut along here. But we'll probably get a aluminium one of those. There's lots of aftermarket parts for this, so it's good. What else? Chain and sprockets are buggered. We'll get a new set of those. It's got all his electrics. It's got the Yoshi pipe on it. And also he mentioned it's got upgraded suspension, if that means anything to you guys. MPE. For a heavier person. Here's the other side of it. So it's all complete. Everything's there. Now we did try and get it started and we couldn't. It did pop off and fire, but it wouldn't idle and certainly wouldn't rev up. So what we're going to do today is try and get it running. So I think it's just the carby, because it's been sitting so long. We'll get the carby off, clean that, and then put it back on and see if it runs. And then once it's running, I'm going to clean this absolute bog hole of a shed up, get rid of all this crap, because I've put the two cars, two Falcons in the other shed, so this is all the crap out of the other shed. So I'll do a tip run, do whatever, clean this up so we've got a nice clean workspace, lay out a trestle table, so all the parts can go on it, and then we'll just methodically work through it. The seat, he's cut the foam down. He's taken the cover off and cut the seat foam down in half because apparently it was too short for it. So anyway, that's one way of doing it, I suppose. Jack the suspension up and then cut the seat down. So we'll have to get a new piece of foam for the seat. Seat cover's not too bad. Everything else is there, just needs its mirrors to get it roadworthy. And other than that, all good. You can see the frame in there, she's a bit crusty. So that's the plan, to get this thing stripped down and all nice and tidy so we can go bush and have a bit of fun. So anyway, I'm going to get that carby out and get it up on the bench and I'll come back. Okay, carby's off. Took a bit of stuffing around, but we got there in the end. But have a look at the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drains or whatever they are. Look at all the hoses running through it. Holy shit. 2006, that's all new stuff to me. May as well be this year's. But anyway, there's the carby. It looks like a flat slide. I don't know if that'd be aftermarket or what. But anyway, I'll give that a clean up and see what we're looking at. Righto, what a mission that was. So I had a bit of a look these came out, I think, with a Makuni carb. That is actually, I think it's a Kian, how it's pronounced, I'm not sure. Of course, it's probably one of the most sophisticated carburetors ever made. According to Old Mate on YouTube, there's a million parts to it. So, yeah, I did the jets. It all looked pretty clean. So, hopefully, anyway, we'll see what's happening. But we'll give it a kick in the pants and see if it'll run. Just hooked the battery up to it, put fresh fuel in it. The fuel in the tank was just nasty. So, alright, we got power. Alright, I got, put the choke on. Where is it? Here. Alright, here goes. Okay. What happened there? Fuse blow. Sounded like. Hang on. No, don't know what happened there. Anyway, try it again. I'll clean the spark plug too. Oh, well, there we go. She's running, so that's good. Oh yeah, that's a bit foamy, so I guess it's pumping. I hope. So that's good. Alright, I think we might put it back together and then put some air in these tyres because they're flat and take it for a spin, see how it goes. Alrighty guys, I've just given it an oil change, so I'm just going to give it a little strap and see how we go. Goes alright. G'day guys, welcome back to the second video of the DRZ. It's all in pieces now. I took a heap of footage, but unfortunately I lost that, so we're going to have to skip ahead. So what I've done is I've stripped the entire bike down, sandblasted the frame and painted that up. I'll give you a look. So the frame's all painted and nice, and I've put the engine back in. I didn't go too nuts with the engine. I don't really fussed about painting that up or anything like that. No big deal. Just wanted to get it sort of clean. So I've started putting it back together. Everything's in there. I've run all the wiring loom back how it is meant to go. Cleaned up all these. So as you could tell before, it was, I don't know if you could actually. I might put some photos up and show you how filthy this thing was. It's taken a lot of elbow grease. Oh, actually I'll show you how filthy it was over here. And this is, oh well, there's the radiators. You can see, absolutely grotty as anything here. And there's, have a look, there's the caliper, nasty. And look at the shock, the rear shock. So this has actually been upgraded, this suspension, by these guys here, down Calandra. So apparently they're really good, and these are worth a fortune apparently. So I rang old mate, because I'm missing the rubber bump stop down in here, was all disintegrated. And I asked him if they're available, and he said, well, you've got to tear the shock right down to replace that. He said, so you may as well get it entirely reconditioned while it's out of the bike and recharged with nitrogen and all the rest of it. And I'll get him to set it up for my weight. So that's just over 200 bucks to get all that reconditioned. So we'll clean him up and do that. I've got some brake pads on order for the rear. I've already done the front caliper. Not going to bother with painting that. Or I might, but I mean, it is a dirt bike, so we don't want it mint anyway. The wheels, have a look at these. Ferrule, those hubs. So I'm going to sandblast those and see if we can bring those up a bit nicer. I've ordered a sprocket and chain kit, waiting for that. I've ordered an air cleaner, but what I did find in the swing arm is this needle bearing in here was totally ripped apart and rusty and just nasty. Obviously it hadn't had any of this stuff for quite a while. So I've ordered that needle bearing there and it's arrived, so happy days. I've also got another needle bearing and two seals for this bloke here on the cushion hitch or whatever you call that thing. So he's to go in there. So what we'll do now, oh yeah, and I bought a brand new plug. So we'll do that. We might get those pressed into here, and then we can fit that swing arm up. I've also ordered, so I jumped ahead of myself here and put the forks back in, and I'm going to take those back out because I'm going to do the seals, even though they're the seals aren't leaking on them. I'll do them anyway, they're cheap. So we'll do those. I've ordered another set of gaiters because these are just sort of a bit old and how you going. So we'll put those on at the same time. There's a bit of a look at the frame. The frame came up really nice. I will get into that with some steel wool later after the fact, but I just want to sort of get it back together now. So anyway, let's go press these bearings into the swing arm. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's the old swing arm bearing there. Try and get it in the light. It's going to focus. Anyway, it's absolutely had it. As dry as a witch's tit. No grease in there whatsoever. And there's a nice new one. A bit of factory grease in him. So beautiful. I tried to set the camera up on the press and I can't. So I'm just going to do this off camera. Righto, so there's him all pressed in. Lovely, he's flush with that there. Just used a socket to push him in. So lovely. Now, we've got our little building up to do. So get a bit of grease in there. We've got a washer. And then we've got a little bearing type thing here. It's a little bit dirty and whatever, but I've cleaned it right up in thinners and brake cleaner, and it seems to be working okay, so we'll go with it. He goes in there, and then more grease, plenty of grease. These swing arms are greasable too. They've got grease nipples all over them, which is a good thing. And then another washer like this. And then we're going to reuse our seal. So he'll go in there like that. Beautiful. And then we've got this little plug thing which fits right in like that. I'll flip him over, we'll do the other side. So he's pretty straightforward. Just got our little seal. He goes in there. And we've got our bushing. He goes in there, and that's it. We're done. Swing arms sorted. Righto, new bearing and seals pressed into this part. Alright, I reckon we can just about get the swing arm in there. Righto, swing arm is on. And she's all greased up, beautiful. New bearings where needed. And that's it, nice and solid, no play in it, so we're happy with that. I put the brake pedal on and the switch in up under here. Now I think to tidy up all these loose wires and so forth that are everywhere, all over the place, we'll get that rear subframe on, and the airbox and boot and all that sort of stuff, and then we'll have a look at tidying up all these wires. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that subframe. It's I'll get that shock rebuilt first. So we're just working on the fuel tank. As you can see, it's feral, just discoloured and nasty. So we'll try and do something with this. I've just got a little razor blade, and so it's about 4 in the morning. I'm up early. Grand final day, AFL anyway. So yeah, just slowly work it like this. Scrape that nasty top layer off, and just keep going like this until we get most of that brown crap off, and then I'll get a bunch of different wet or dry, and yeah, see if we can get it back to some raw yellow. Then we'll get the heat gun on it and see if we can make him presentable. So I'll keep working at this and we'll come back. I've been going at this for about half an hour now with the old wet or dry. That's 180, so it's quite aggressive, but I sort of need it. I don't think I'm going to get this out here. I've just been rubbing that for ages, and I think that stain's quite deep. So I'll keep going. I'll see if I can get it, but I have been really hitting that, and it's not really going down much further. But anyway, it's better than what it was. And then this side, I started here, I'm working down here. So yeah, around in this here, this is the really hard stuff. But anyway, I'll get most of that out, and then I'll just keep working up the grades to about 2000, and then we'll get the heat gun on him and see if we can get a nice gloss to it. Right, I've rubbed this back. Oh, it's as good as it's going to get. I'm not confident that it's going to come up any better than that with the heat gun, but we'll try. If not, I'll just use that until I can find a much better tank. One will pop up one day, and then I'll just pick that up if I can get it cheap enough. But anyway, let's see if we can get something done here. I got rid of that sort of chalkiness, but certainly no gloss to it. Anyway, we'll keep going. Yeah, not much is going on there. Going to focus on that. I don't know, I might need a bit more heat to almost, not quite melt it, but you know, don't know. Yeah, I think that's about as good as we're going to get it somehow. Anyway, I'll keep going off camera and we'll come back. Okay, well we didn't get any gloss off that. Yeah, I don't want to go too nuts on it. But I think what we'll do is I'll get my little polishing tool and we'll try and polish it, see if we can get some gloss out of it that way. Alright, it's kind of not too bad. If I spent probably 4 hours doing that, it'd get glossy. But I'll switch this compressor back on and give it a good hit, see how good we can get it. I'll do all that off camera. Alright guys, that's about as good as I'm going to get it, I think. Anyway, besides it's all I'm prepared to put into it anyway with time. These things are cheap when they come up and you can get them in a lot better condition than this. This thing's been sitting for I don't know how long. Yeah, at least a year with fuel in it, so you know. But it'll get us riding till we can find another one anyway. So righto, next thing we're to do is a rear brake caliper. I think that's going to be a nightmare. Righto, here's the rear caliper. I've just put it through the parts washer. But see the piston there? How far it's out and it's rusty. I reckon this bike was ridden on the beach and put away wet and left for over 12 months. It is so filthy. But yeah, what are your chances of getting that out? Not with compressed air. I reckon we're going to have to pump grease into it. But anyway, we'll give it a shot. Righto, pretty sure this isn't going to work, but we'll try it. Yeah, no chance whatsoever of that budging. So righto, we'll get the grease gun, screw the end off the grease gun, the nozzle, and then that thread, it's not the same, but you can get it in 2 or 3 threads in there without damaging it, and we'll pump some fat in there and see if we can pop that piston out. Yeah, so you can see, you just unscrew that, get a few threads in there, and start pumping away, see if we can dislodge that rusty piston, see if we can get it on camera. Where is he? There. Alright, here goes. Here it comes. It works every time, the grease. You see it coming out? Worst thing about this is getting the grease out of the caliper. Pop! There he is. Beautiful. Righto. I'll clean the shit out of there and then see if we can tidy this caliper up a bit and check the seals. Okay, so I've got most of the grease out there. I'll run him back through the parts washer. But here are our seals. There's one. And a little skinny one up the top there. Try and dig him out. There he is. Alright, 2 seals. I'll go give him another wash and a clean up and we'll come back. The piston cleaned up alright, good enough anyway. I thought he might have been a bit there going, but yeah, wire wheel, all good. So the caliper's clean. I'll put this back in and I'll give you a look. Okay, he's back in there, all good. I gave the caliper a quick hit, not getting too fussed with it. Just get all the grime and shit off. But what I did buy is this. I know it's only a little cheapy, like a Dremel, like 50 bucks. Can't go wrong. And you get these little wire wheels. I've chewed through both of them. They don't last that long. This fucking camera would focus. What's wrong with you? Yeah, you get those and oh, they're amazing for getting into all the little nooks and stuff. Just to get crap out of tight spots. Anyway, all good. What next? Righto, so I've reinstalled the radiators, cleaned them up best I can without going too silly. So they're all back on. I've put the exhaust on. That's only loose until we get it all, get that subframe on and get it all lined up. So that's just on there loose. I've sandblasted the hubs of the wheels. When I get riding, I'll do the old school trick with a piece of leather and some polishing compound and leave it in there for a while and see if it'll sort of polish that up in there. But we're waiting on fork seals and gaiters and fork oil. So I won't put the wheel on till we do all that. That's about it. I'm going to call it a day, go and get ready to watch the footy. Might even get pissed. Righto, back later.